Hello and welcome to the another video of How to Power BI. In this video, we will be understanding one more example of bookmarks and also the tooltip option available in the Power BI. So let's get started. So in our last video, we understood how we can use a bookmark with the two example. If I want to show or hide a particular chart, or if I want to show uh, one chart on selection of a particular button. So how we can show that. Now we will explore this show and hide option of a bookmark once more with the another example. Uh, so for this example, what we are going to do is that we will try to show that there is a single button. In reality, we will be using two buttons, but we'll try to display a user that they are clicking on a single button, and that's how they can uh, change the selection or they can see the data according to that. So for this, what I will do, I will take this line chart. I just paste it here. Okay. Okay. Now I will insert one more button. Okay. I will keep this button here. Let's shape it. Make it a rounded rectangle with the 40. And let's try to style it. Add text. Now again show. Format it to 22. Maybe bold. Change it to blue again. Now I will just copy and paste this option here, and I will rename it as height. Okay, now our task is to, whenever I click on the show button, the chart should appear and the hide button should appear. So let me first insert the selection and bookmark. Okay, so now what I want is whenever I click on the show button should get disappear, like so this is our show button. I will just rename it show button, and this is our hide button. Okay, so what I want is that whenever I click on this show button, so show button should get hide, only hide button should be there and chart should be there. And now when I click on the hide button, so the option of show button should appear and something like this should appear. So whenever I click on the show, this will change it to hide and the chart will appear. And whenever I click on the hide button, the chart will disappear, the hide button will also disappear, only the show button will show. So how to do that? Now for that, let's try by keeping it as. So first, whenever there is a show, when I click on the show, what will be displayed? The hide button will be displayed. So we will hide a show button. And now let's add a bookmark. So let's rename it as a maybe S1. Okay. So I will rename it as a S1. So this is to show. Now what we want is that uh, hide the hide button, only show the show button, so that chart is disappeared and only button is there. Now I will hide. So this is to hide. So let's rename it as H1. Correct. Okay. Now whenever I click on the hide, so this interface will open, and whenever I click on the S1, this interface will open. So we have to give the action according to that. So I will give the action to this button of this bookmark. Okay, so we will give the S1 action to show button and H1 action to hide button. So whenever we click on the show button, this will appear, and whenever we click on the hide button, this will appear. Okay, so let's just give it the action. To hide button, we will give a action of a bookmark and then change it to H1. Okay, Now for the show button, yeah, for this, what we will be doing, we'll give uh, show button. Where is the show button? Okay, yeah, now it has appeared. I will give the action is to bookmark, and then this will show the S1 option. Okay, now let's try to see if it is applied. Whenever I click on the show, this will appear. And whenever I click on the hide, this will appear. Show, hide. Now, what we want to do is that uh, we want to overlap these buttons. Now you can see when I click on the show, the hide button is here. But I want where the position of show button, there only it should be the hide button, so that it will appear that you're clicking on the single button. Okay. So for that, what we can do, we can just I will go to the show. Let's understand the position of show. So go to the format option, go to the general, and then go to the properties, and you will see the position is 487 horizontal, 27 vertical. So remember this position, and we will apply this position to now hide button. So let's go to the hide button position. Okay, just one more hide. Okay, now we will adjust it to 487. So it is now overlapped with the show button. Okay, now you try to click. So you can see that the button is on the same position. So it is appearing that such as that only the names are changed. Okay, so this is how you can show on by overlapping two buttons that they are performing the dual action, that the single button is performing a dual action. So it will create a good user experience. So like this you can use a bookmark also. So this was the third example where you can understand how the bookmark can be used. Book Bookmark. Okay. Now let's add a new page and let's try to understand what is the tooltip option in our visualization. So for that, what we can do, let's try to copy the chart again. Let's try to understand it. Okay, now the whenever I hover over this June and this sum of profit which is written 1473753, this is a kind of a tooltip. So this is the by default tooltip in the Power BI. If you want, you can add more data also. Here if you go, you can see this whole tooltips option, and you can add, let's say this is profit is showing. If I want to show the discount percent, or maybe a discount value, so I will add the tooltip here. If I want to show a sale price also, then I can add that also. If you hover now, you can see the other tooltips option which you have added. Okay, so sum of profit is in the chart, and this discount and sales price you added in the tooltip. So this is how you can see multiple tooltips option. So this is the first kind of a tooltip. Now generally which tooltip you will be using in real time is the second type, where you will create a one page and you will use that page as a tooltip on a different page. So let me explain you what I'm saying. So what I will do now, let's assume that I want to understand. I will remove this tooltips option. Okay. Now what I want to see is that whenever I hover over this line chart, I also want to see the bifurcation of this profit by country level. Okay. So what I want to see is that I want to see which country has performed how many profit, or maybe which discount band has given how many profit. So like that, or any segment or any product, you can do that. So for that, what I need to do is that I will create one more page. Before creating any chart over there, you go to this page formatting option, go to the page information, and you will allow this option, allow use as a tooltip, and you go to canvas setting, and you can see it by default changes to tooltip. So what you're doing is that this page will be used as the tooltip on a different page. Okay, now let's try to create here maybe a bar chart which will show country wise profit. So I am keeping the visual on the complete page. Okay, so what we can do is that we can take a country from the sample data, the country name, and then we can add a profit. So you can see you can just format it a little bit. Maybe you can get rid of the x-axis, not the x-axis, maybe a y-axis. Okay, and then you can also turn on the labels. You can turn off the titles. You can go to the labels, reposition it. Position should be inside end. Okay, or let's say outside end. No, maybe inside end is good. Okay, so this is created now. Now what I need to do is that I will just rename this page as a tooltip. Okay, now go to the page one. What I want is whenever I hover over this chart, I need to see the June month's profit by country wise. So I need to see this tooltip chart in this graph. So what I will do, I will just select this visual. I will go to this option format visual, and if you scroll down in the general options, you can see there is a tooltip option which is activated. Now if you open that, here is the option of type report page. So by default it will be default. Whenever the tooltip is activated, it will show a report page. Now which page we want to show in this visual, so we will select that page from here. So you can see the name tooltip of our new page is here. So this is the page name. Okay, so which I have given manually. If you change over here, it will also change. So I will just give it here, and now let's try to see what it shows. Now, you can see that in the June month, it is showing France, Canada, Germany, Mexico, how it has performed in terms of profit. So this is to use whenever a user wants to see additional information in his graph. Okay, so tooltips can be benefited in that way. So this was the second type of tooltips which you can see. Now let's try to add one more page and try to create one more tooltip that we will understand a header level tooltip. So what I will do, I will again format it. The page information, it should be as a tooltip. So let's rename it as tooltip 2. Now in here what I want to use is that hmm, let's take a card. Let's see what we can show in the card. So if I take a maybe not card, okay, maybe a different kind of visual. Let's assume I'll take a tree map, and I will show a profit on the basis of different products. Okay, now this is just an example to show you how you can use the third option of a tooltip. Now I will again go to the page one, and if you click on the visual, again you go to the format visual and the general option. Now you can see the header icons. So if you scroll down in the header icons, there is a last option called help tooltip. Okay, so if you turn that on, the tooltip of a header will, now this icon has appeared. Okay, now it is showing, if you scroll over here, it is showing MMMM. So what is this? This is showing the tooltip text which I have typed. You can type anything here, like the trend of profit over 2 years. Okay, So if you hover over here, it will show what is the information it is showing. So now I will just remove it. Let's try to see if it comes. Let's try to take a different page of tooltip and let's hover over this. Now you can see that on the header also you can give a tooltip. So it depends on the situation or the requirement which user wants to see. But this was also a third type of a tooltip which you can use on your visual and the header of the on the header of your visual. So depends on mostly requirement. Now, so what we understood three types of tooltips. One which is by default comes on the visual, which you can use by adding multiple values in there. Second, you create a one page and use it on that particular visual. Okay. And now third, you can use a tooltip on the particular visual's header also. So for that, what you need to do is that go to the general header option and then you can activate tooltip option over there. Okay. So this was the three kinds of tooltip which you can use. Now, one more thing is that these tooltips can be used in the any number of chart. Like let's assume if I want in the charts bookmark, if I go to the bar chart and I want to use here as a tooltip. So what I will do, I will again go to the same process and do tooltip. I will take it as a tooltip 2, and if I hover over it, here also you can use. So what is this? So this is the thing that if you create one tooltip, you can use the one tooltip in a multiple graphs or multiple pages. But on a single visual, you can add only a single tooltip, like the header tooltip, the visual tooltip. You cannot add multiple tooltips on a single visual. If you want to add, you can change a different tooltip here, but there cannot be a two tooltips at the same time on a single visual. But a tooltip page can be used on the multiple visual and multiple pages. Okay. So I hope this was clear to you that how you can use a tooltip to your benefit to show a more data, to show more information to the user. So this was all about the second type of bookmark option where you can see the hide and show on the same button. So it will appear as a effect of a you are using a same button. But in reality, there are two buttons. You just need to adjust it properly. And then we understood three types of tooltips, how you can use and benefit uh, the information of a data which a user can understand. So this was all for this session. Thank you so much.